Hello everyone, welcome to iExam Week. Students, you know this fact, SEBI Grade A 2022 results are out. And dream of many aspirants have really come true, and similarly, dream of Mr. Kunal have also come true. So today we have Mr. Kunal with us, who is here to guide you for the next year's SEBI exam. So I personally welcome Mr. Kunal from the iExam Week team. So welcome and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, sir.
Kunal, before starting, I want to personally make aware about what is your educational background. So we'll start from the scratch. So what is your educational background?
I
Tell
have
some, yeah.
yeah. So I have done my bachelor's of commerce from Nashik, from the Pune University. After that, I have done masters in commerce also. I have given and I have cleared the CA inter, and I will be appearing for CA final. So basically, I am from the commerce background from the academics side.
Okay. And when did you thought of like preparing these regulatory body exams like SEBI and all that?
So after graduation, I was preparing for the civil service examination, UPSC civil service examination. From 2016, I started my preparation for civil service examination. And for initial 2 years, I fully prepared only for this one examination. And after that, I couldn't make it to the next levels of the or the final level of those examinations. And then I started to look for the other opportunities. So in this line, I gave like as in when I used to get information about the examinations, I used to give it. So I gave the UPSC CAPF examination, which I had cleared. I appeared for SSC CGL twice. Then I also appeared for the Intelligence Bureau ACIO exam, then RBI Grade B exam, and other couple of exams. And I was not aware of this SEBI exam then. So it happened that in the year 2020, I got to know about this SEBI grade exam through the 2020 notification which came before COVID. And at that point of time, I was not eligible because my masters, which I was pursuing, so I had a gap between my bachelor's and master's. So I completed my bachelor's in 2016, and I started for the MCOM in 2018. So I had cleared the first year, but the second year exams were postponed due to the COVID.
Right.
And as the exams were not conducted, I couldn't appear for the SEBI exam, or I couldn't apply for it in the first place because the SEBI application forms were out in the early 2020. So later on, the exam was conducted in 2021, but as my master's wasn't complete, I couldn't apply. So then I missed that exam. Then in 2021, there was no notification. So in 2022, the notification came in the Jan, and that's how then I started exclusively preparing for this exam.
Okay, so after the notification, you start preparing, or like in from 2020, you have started preparing for this particular exam. I want to know this fact because many of the aspirants like wait for the notification in order to prepare such kind of regulatory body exam, and these kind of examination really require a lot of hard work, as vacancy is very less. So I want like your input on this particular site.
So when I no, I in 2020 I went through the entire notification and I was aware about the syllabus. Though I was not exclusively or purposely preparing for this exam, but this syllabus was on back of my mind. So whatever reading I was doing, and I was working also in the accounts department only. So this company law thing, cost accounting thing, accounting, so all these subjects were simultaneously I was just going through. And once the notification was out, I started to prepare exam in exam oriented way. For the last 1.5 year, what I was doing is I was just keeping myself updated. I was keeping myself in a position to handle the examination as and when the notification comes.
Okay.
So that is what my strategy is.
Okay, so I'll start from the very beginning, like from the paper one. Since you have cleared like multiple exams, like SSC also, so you are quite good in QRE as well, right?
Yeah.
But here the catch is we have to score only like 30% marks in order to clear that particular paper one. So what is your strategy around like paper one? So how did you really approach? Because many of the aspirants still feel difficult to score even like 30% of marks in this paper.
So now it will depend upon person to person. So a person who is good in the quant reasoning,
Hmm.
so they can prepare for this exam by through the mock test. So
Right,
that is what I did. I gave multiple mock tests for paper one, not too many, because as I knew that only 30% is the cutoff. So I gave at least 10 mock tests for paper one. And there were few areas of the reasoning, just like puzzles or some quant related this quadratic equation thing. So I watched a couple of YouTube videos and I tried to, solve few questions. And that's how I prepared for this paper one part of it. And in the English, I also watched few videos for this particular English related questions. And for GK, as I was preparing for UPSC, I was in touch with the regular current affairs. But for the examination purpose, I went through this banking or current affairs capsules, which were available
absolutely.
for past 6 months. I just went through it.
And
Uh,
how did they really help you? Like, I want to know this fact also. Like, give
So,
us like,
so what? Yeah. So generally, it's my personal opinion that these competitive exams are game of the psychology. So many people know the things, but what happens is like you are in the examination hall and there are few questions which you don't know, and
right,
then if you suddenly start panicking, then you tend to forget what you had studied. So if you like when I was going through the current affairs, so I was like, yeah, I'll just skip it, like skim through it, not skip it. I'll skim through it. If I have read something once at least, when I'm in exam hall and if some related question is there, so then I'll have that little bit of support that yeah I have read it. Then it will be just recall. So the recall might be in a couple of seconds, or it might take half a minute or so to recall it. So that's how like more in the GK because the sky is the limit. I mean, you
hmm,
cannot say
right,
that you have fully prepared. So
right.
just I tried to cover maximum possible in the minimum time. So that was also one thing because time we have that is limited.
Yeah, and if we specifically talk about the general stream, like there are a lot of subjects in paper two which are common in your both phase one and phase two. Like there are six subjects: commerce,
Yeah.
accountancy, management, finance, posting, companies, economics, etc. So the burden is huge. So any special thing you want to address to like future aspirants, how they can approach all for all these subjects in a better way.
So, in my, like my personal experience has been, I started with the management subject first because
Right.
I had not studied management previously because it wasn't there for any examination except the RBI Grade B. So for RBI Grade B, I had studied the management. Then, but when the SEBI notification came out, I started with the management first. So I saw the concept videos about the management. Then I solved few previous year papers and the few questions or let's say 100 200 questions of the past 5 years of the different examination different regulatory body or different examinations I went through them and I started with the management and then the core areas like accountancy cost accountancy like I just revised them through the like the syllabus pointer I used to take one point and I used to just go through few questions of that or I used to read the notes of that. So whatever I know, I used to revise, and whatever is new, I used to give focus on that. I used to take note of that, and that's how I prepared these technical subjects like law, cost accounting, finance, commerce, etc.
Yeah. So see, since the vacancies are very less, so what were the inner feelings inside you when you cleared phase one? Like, are you really motivated at that time? So I want to know because many people like always say vacancies are very less. I might not get chance to like clear this particular exam. So what's your point on that? So because we have to be very motivated at each point of time. So, what's your point? What's your take on
So for regarding phase one, I was confident because it was a qualifying one.
that? Yeah.
So my main focus was on clearing the phase two exam. And for the phase two, what happened was key phase one, I was very okay with it. For phase two, the first paper of this descriptive. So the what we can say the user interface of that portal was very sluggish, and it somehow I got little panicked over there.
Hmm.
Then I just had a break for 2 3 minutes. I just calmed down, and that's how I tried to complete the paper one because that was lengthy, and in this the user interface was such that it was taking more time. So in
Right.
mock test, I was practicing on my own laptop, so I was very well versed with that. But in the actual examination, the case was different. So main thing was just I kept my calm, and when the phase two result came out, it really motivated me for the interview preparation. So I would say that whatever preparation I had done till phase two, so I gave more efforts for the interview preparation
Okay.
because the result is definitely a big motivator factor in the all preparation. Even phase one result, though I was confident, but I was delighted when I saw my roll number in the pass list, and
Right.
then the moment I saw the this my result, then I celebrated it for an hour or two, and then I started with the phase two preparations right away.
Right. So, like many aspirants are from rural background as well, who are who have fear from the descriptive English. So, any kind of guidance for them?
So I would say that for this descriptive English, there are two things. One is like knowing the skills, that what skills are required. So that thing you can do through lectures. So for essay or for what we can say any writing or any kind of comprehension, you have to first know the basics of it. That what are the skills and how it is to be done. So for that you can refer to lectures of the experts. They are easily available. And it is now due to the this information technology or ed tech thing, it is accessible to like remotest of the remote person too.
Right.
So that is one part of it. That is where you begin your journey. After that, practice, practice, and practice. So more you practice, more will be your refinement of your skills. Then at this point you will need someone to evaluate also. So it like whenever you write something, get it evaluated by your friend, if you have a mentor, if you have a teacher. So like whoever possible person you have in your vicinity or in your access, you
Okay.
can approach to them and you can evaluate. Because what happens is when you read whatever you have written, you feel that yeah, I have done it right.
Right.
But if somebody no, has other point of view, so then you can do better in the descriptive.
Okay, so I will also request to elaborate a little bit on paper two as well as far as phase two is concerned, because there are like a lot of subjects, and since your educational background is quite similar, so it like it would be quite easy for you to cover like other subjects apart from the management you told earlier also. But if a person is have not done like such kind of subjects, right? So what would be his or her strategy?
So I think for the like what I have experienced in both the phase one and phase two. So SEBI is not demanding an expert knowledge. Okay, so the questions are very logical. So if you have concepts cleared in your mind and if you are able to apply the concept, then you can easily take out the answer. The major benefit of this competitive exam is you do not have to give answer. You
Right,
have to choose answer. So that is a positive. So if you have a conceptual clarity, you can read the question, you can understand the question, and after applying the concepts you can easily choose the correct answer. So I would like those who are from non-commerce background, they should not first bother about it. Okay, this is commerce or this is economics or this is finance. So in the syllabus also, if you could see, only basic things of those subjects are asked. So in economics, the concept which they have asked are easily available in the ninth and 10th NCRTs or
right,
11th NCRTs for that matter. Or even if you put the one like one concept you can copy from or one topic you can copy from the syllabus, and if you search on Google, you will find very simple explanation on Investopedia or other platforms wherein in very simpler form they have explained. So what you have to do is you have to learn it in a way which is understandable to you. So you do not have to solve or write any paragraph on that. So
Right.
only your understanding is important, and if you focus on that, it is easily doable for any non-commerce person also. All this so accountancy is bit technical. So you can watch few basic videos of the 11th or 12th standard grade. So that will give you the basic understanding, and once you have that understanding, and then you can read the notes and can understand better. Because what happens is, if you are from a non-core background and you take any technical book, so definitely you will feel that this is strange,
Right.
because you are reading by yourself. But if you just watch a introductory or introduction or a basic video of any expert of that field for that subject, then definitely you can have understanding of that subject, basic understanding, and that will be guiding force when you will be reading the written notes of that subject, and that's how you can learn. So I think that the focus should be on the conceptual understanding first, rather
Yes.
than going into the advanced topics.
Yeah, it's always better to list down the syllabus than like concept. Conceptual clarity is the one of the basic like thing we
Right.
have to do before proceeding further, right? Okay, since you have like after clearing phase two, since you know this fact that SEBI has selected in the ratio of like 3:1, right? Am I right? So,
Yeah.
what were they feeling? Like, were you confident at that particular time? That now it is a easy thing for you, or have you really like put a lot of efforts in interview round also?
Yeah, actually, like coming in, like there was a shortening of the competition. So from huge pool, there was a smaller pool, and then there was a final small pool. And I was knowing that all those candidates who have been qualified for the interview, they have all given their efforts. So
Right.
now it is a more fierce competition than the phase one or phase two.
Hmm.
So that's where I thought ki I should put in more efforts if I have to clear through the
So
interview phase.
how's the experience with the interview panel members? Like what kind of questions they really ask? Because students might be like interested to do stuff also, because you have personally faced the panel members of city, right? So what was the experience?
So mine experience was very good. The interview panel was cordial. So like there were total four members. One was lady, one chairman, and one person. Like three-person were from SEBI and one person from RBI. So my interview, the 50% of the interview was about technical. So they asked me about the concepts related to securities market, and there was counter questioning. So like people I have seen aspirants saying that they grill you. So I have a different opinion that they do not grill you, because see, in interview they do not want these superficial answers or superficial knowledge. So whenever they ask you a question, you give them an answer. So in from the answer they'll frame another question, or
Right.
if they feel that you have not given full answer, then they'll ask you again and they'll give you opportunity to elaborate more on that topic. And like I have seen that for every question, at least there are two to three counter questions. So if the question is not factual one, for a subjective question, there are at least two to three counters, and you should be positively replying. So if they ask you a counter question, you should not have feeling that like they are grilling you, or like whatever you answered is wrong. So if you have that feeling, your the next answer is not that confident. So your all replies or all answers to the counter questions should be with the same confidence with which you have given your first answer. And that's the thing which helped me a bit in clearing my interview. Then they asked the HR HR type questions like why you want to join this SEBI organization. Then they ask about the functions of SEBI, what SEBI is doing, what it should do. So all these basic thing every aspirant must prepare if he or she is appearing for interview, because which organization you want to join, you should have a overall view about that organization.
Right.
Then they asked me about my family background, what my father, mother, and
Yeah,
etc.
basically interview is consist of like three major parts: your HR, your personality, and your like professional backgrounds and all that
Right.
stuff. So majority of the questions were from like the professional arena you were
Yeah,
talking
it's
about?
50-50. It is
Yeah.
50% from professional and technical, and 50% the general questions, just opinion-based questions to check the views.
Okay. So now you are finally selected, and how's the feeling like? Uh, do you want to share with other aspirants like how it feels to be a SEBI grade A officer?
So I would say that the moment I saw my roll number in the final result list, I
Hmm.
was elated, and it was it is dream for thousands of aspirants, and to get your dream fulfilled, the feeling is like it cannot be described in words. The only thing is that it was a proud moment for me, for my family, and I felt that whatever efforts I had taken. So with God's grace, because see, everybody, all the let's say 1,000, 2,000 people who are seriously preparing, they put in their best of efforts. Then now it all comes down to the what you could do in those 2 hours of examination time, or those 15, 20 minutes of interview time. So there is a element of luck also. Everybody prepares. So those who could not make it should not think that like I'm not eligible for it, so I couldn't make it. It
Right.
is like you see there are limited vacancies, so it is ought to happen that all deserving candidates don't get selected. So if you are not selected, then you should continue your preparation with the same zeal. There will definitely be another opportunity waiting for you. So in my case only, so I was preparing for some other examinations. When I started preparation for the competitive examinations,
Hmm.
this opportunity was not on my mind. So it came to me. Then when it came to me, I wasn't eligible. So left it at that. So then I kept waiting for the other opportunities and for this opportunity to come again. And then it came again. In the first attempt, I appeared and I could clear it. So it is definitely a great feeling. And it cannot be described in words. So that moment cannot be described in words. That's what I can say.
Okay. So what's the next plan for Kunal?
So I am at my hometown today. So
Okay.
I was called at my school today for the felicitation, and even that moment was very emotional one for me. Like
Right.
getting felicited at your school where you have done your the basic education, and that is what the foundation of your entire professional life will be. So that was a good moment. So tonight I'll be enjoying with my family. That's what my plan is.
That's great point. See, I want to I personally request you to clarify on this point also. See, since many aspirants, what they do is like they really wait for the notification. Everybody knows this particular fact that SEBI Grade A 2023 will definitely come, right? So now the question is, should they prepare after like the notification, or should they prepare it now? Because it's a very vast thing to cover, right? So if we specifically talk about like phase one, phase two, it's very sometimes it's very difficult, and competition is also increasing day by day. Vacancies are also less. So so I want to you to like clarify or like advise the future aspirants in this.
So in this regard, my personal opinion is, so if you are like you have that background wherein you are confident that you will need this much time for this type of examination, so you can have your plan that way. But if you do not have that plan to prepare for this type of syllabus and then you wait for notification to come, so that is not the right strategy to do, because see these particularly these regulatory bodies examinations have very short cycle. So
Right.
you can see that in 4 months, the entire cycle is complete.
Right.
So, like for other examination, for state government or central other examinations, it takes a year or 1.5 years for the cycle to complete. In this, there you can say that when the notification comes out, you have 2.5 months for prelims, then you have another 3 to 4 months for
For
mains.
mains.
But this is not the case for with this kind of competitive examinations for the regulatory bodies or banks for that matter. So I think it is advisable, if you are clear with your thought that you want to do it, then there is no harm in preparing beforehand. So like you will not lose anything if, even if you the notification doesn't come, or
Right.
this exam will not come, then this knowledge can be used for any other exam, or for that matter even if you can use it in your current job also, whatever you are studying. So this way you can plan it. So it will depend from person to person.
Okay. So, any last advice? Any last advice for students?
So the most important thing for the competitive examination is perseverance and consistency, and that is the key.
Yeah, these are the golden words. Like consistency play a major role when we like plans our study, and if we are consistent, because many working aspirant also like plan for such kind of opportunity, right? And they struggle for uh, like finding some time for in order to prepare for such competitive exam. But if we are consistent, putting a lot of efforts, doing 2 3 hours studies daily, targeted study, I think we can achieve it, right?
Yeah, sure.
So so I want to congratulate you once again from whole exam we take. You really make your family proud. You really make us proud also. And thank you, Kunal, for guiding the future aspirants. It's lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. I mean, I thank IXAMB for giving this platform wherein I can share my journey with the fellow aspirants. And if I could help them in any way, it would be definitely a privilege for me.
Right, we will keep contacting you. Thank you
Thanks
for
again.
this particular session. Thank you, Kunal, and thanks for watching iExam students.
Have a good day.